Good morning, I'm Angelo Castro III.
I'm Angela and we are the Castros.
It's a Wednesday morning and well, joining us for brunch is Ginatan.
Yes,
Well,
nabilo-bilo.
not joining but was here. Nasa tiyan
Maubos na ba?
Naubos ni
We've been
Angel
eating
lahat.
kasi bago pa mag-start yung show.
Oo, Wednesday.
Mainit, masarap mainit-init na ano.
Oo, kasi medyo
sa
cool
katawan.
this morning on the way here. Tinignan ko yung temperature.
Umulan nga eh.
25 to 27 degrees Celsius, which is fairly cool. Kasi si Amihan mag-peak ng January, pero nagsisimula na daw ngayon eh.
Yes, and then baka daw kasi may pumasok pa din na bagyo bago magpasko.
Well,
so, alamin din natin yan sa
they
pag-asa.
think that we're expecting 2 more, but sana naman ay hindi na lumihis.
Sana matunaw.
Sana lumihis at matunaw.
Oo, wala nang puntahan.
Wala nang puntahan siya, mawala na altogether. Okay, we're serving you news in a countdown.
All that before your second cup of coffee. This is Brunch. Starting our countdown with the latest on Kanlaon Volcano. Thousands of residents near the volcano are still staying in evacuation centers. 2,000 residents in Bago City transferred to safer areas after the volcano erupted on Monday. However, some residents in the permanent danger zone still refused to leave their homes. Defense Secretary Gibo Teodoro told them to obey the orders of authorities and evacuate.
Nakikiusap kami sa mga tao na cooperation na lang kasi kami din na mahihirapan kapag bumalik sila, may mangyari, hindi namin sila mahanap.
Okay, so we've seen a lot of reports nga since yesterday, yung mga affected areas. Kumalat nga yung abo dahil dun sa pag-ihip ng hangin, westward siya. So there are a lot of affected areas din. And nakita natin yung mga bahay, yung mga sakahan, di ba, yung mga sasakyan ng mga kababayan natin dyan sa Negros Occidental, Negros Island, na talagang balot na balot sa abo. Kapal na nung abo.
What you're seeing on your screens right now is the video feed from one of the cameras of Volcs. Ito yung Mount Kanlaon po, yung spewing, yung what you call that, yung may combination, may tawag dyan eh, pag nagko-combine daw. Yung plume of ash, di ba?
Oo. So kasi nung previous activity niya, nung June, if I'm not mistaken, ano lang siya eh, yung ang tawag doon, ash at saka steam lang. So ngayon, yung last time, nitong the other day nung Monday, yung explosion na nangyari sa kanya, meron ng yung anong tawag nila doon? Magmatic eruption.
Yeah, magmatic eruption, oo. May kasamang magma.
Oo, pero yun nga sinasabi nila, they're still checking pa rin kung, kasi syempre hindi natin alam kung kailan, ang hirap naman din i-predict di ba? Kung kailan, gaano kalakas yung iba pang mga volcanic activity na mangyayari dito. Pero definitely, sabi nila sa nakikita nila, baka daw kasi naghahanda na ng magmatic eruption ng Mount Kanlaon. Pero yun nga, as I've said, kung kailan, paano at gaano katindi, yan ang hindi natin alam. So until now, Negros Island is still in alert level 3. Diba? So, within 6-kilometer danger zone, dapat hindi na pumapasok yung mga kababayan natin doon. Pero we have reports also na nakikita natin na may ibang mga kababayan tayo na ayaw nilang umalis doon sa area nila kasi mahirap daw sa evacuation center, tapos ayaw nilang iwanan
basta heed the call na lang of
alaga nila or
Secretary,
yung bahay.
Heed the call na lang Secretary Gibo Teodoro na I know it's hard to leave your homes kasi di ba bahay mo yan eh, may gamit ka doon. Pinundara mo yan ng pera yan, but you know, at the end of the day, ang buhay is mas importante pa. So, go to safety. Afterwards, let's deal with whatever happens next, di ba? I'm sure the government has programs in place. Might not be perfect, pero at least may programs po tayo. Ang importante po, you're not in harm's way because if dumating ang panahon na you're in harm's way, number one, yung mga loved ones mo, mahihirapan sila because they will, madaming stress na nararamdaman.
Sinabi ni Secretary Gibo Teodoro, mahirapan din yung mga rescuers to look for them.
Yeah, it's going to be hard.
Talagang, basta within 6-kilometer danger zone, evacuate.
You're putting rescuers in harm's way also. Kasi they'll go out of their way for sure to look for you.
Okay, so sa kapal ng usok na nakikita natin ngayon na talagang kumakalat sa Negros Island, so syempre, sinasabi nga nila, nire-require yung mga residents dyan na magsuot ng N95 mask.
The other mask don't work, yung mga simple face mask.
Pero kung wala, maigi daw meron tayo yung basang bimpo na ilagay daw sa ilong natin.
Temporary lang daw yun,
tapos i-close yung mga windows, 'di ba? Yung mga pintuan, tapos wag lumabas kung hindi naman importante talaga yung yung lakad nila.
Basta kung makakuha kay N95 mask, go lang.
Yeah, ang problema nga dito sa mask na to, kaya na-bring up ko yung topic about the mask. Kasi meron daw kasing may mga ilang areas doon na nananamantala, nagbebenta ng mask ng doble, triple pa na presyo.
Yeah.
So sinasamantala yung sitwasyon. But later on, let's talk
Yeah,
about it.
we have a guest.
Yes, let's get more updates about the Kanlaon volcano. We have FIVOX Director Teresito Bacolcol joining us today.
Good morning, Director. Thank you very much for joining us here on the Brunch.
Yes, sir, and yes, ma'am. Good morning po sa inyo, and thank you for having me here.
Yes, Director, kamusta na po ang lagay ng Bulkang Kanlaon? Are there chances for another eruption?
Well, the possibility is always there. Yun po yung ibig sabihin po ng natin, ng alert level 3. Eruption is possible in the following weeks.
And in the last 24 hours po, how many aftershocks na record natin?
You mean volcanic earthquakes
Yes,
po?
that's right, sir.
We recorded 31 volcanic earthquakes for the past 24 hours. And we also recorded around 4,000, more than 4,000, 4,121 sulfur dioxide.
Oh.
So, volcanic earthquakes past 24 hours, which is higher than what we have measured between December 9 to December 10.
Right. Director, can you explain to us, give us a picture yung sinasabi nyo nga po na it's a possibility na magkaroon po ng magmatic eruption ang Mount Kanlaon?
Yes, again, yun po yung classification natin for alert level 3. There may be hazardous eruption in the future, and that's the reason why tinaas natin yung alert level. During the eruption last December 9, nakakita po tayo ng pyroclastic density current. And ito po yung lumaragasang mixture of volcanic ash, rock fragments, and mga volcanic gases. And mabilis po ito na bumabagsak sa dalisdis ng bulkan, and it could go as high as hundreds of kilometers per hour. So, nung nakita natin yan noong December 9, buti na lang hindi siya lumagpas doon sa 4-kilometer permanent danger zone, nasa 3.5 kilometers lamang na nasa summit. So, we think na kapag nagkaroon ng hazardous eruption and mas malakas pa nung December 9, baka lalagpas pa siya doon sa 4-kilometer permanent danger zone natin. So, that's the reason why we increased the alert level we increased the danger zone to 6.
Okay.
Opo.
Hazardous eruption.
Yung posibilidad po na maglabas din po ng lava, yung Mount Kanlaon, tinitignan din po ba natin yon?
Yes, the possibility is always there. Isang beses lang tayo nagkaroon ng magmatic eruption. Recorded sa history ng Kanlaon volcano that happened in 1902. And after that, ang karamihan ng eruption ng Kanlaon volcano would be phreatic or phreatomagmatic. And we are not discounting the possibility kasi matagal-tagal na ring walang magmatic eruption.
Right.
Sana hindi mangyari.
Sana hindi, oo.
Yes, Director, we are at alert level 3 right now, pero what are the chances na umabot po ito sa alert level 4? Is that still on the table?
Yes, the possibility is always there. That's the reason why we're closely monitoring Kanlaon volcano. This will be on a day-to-day basis. And kapag may mga changes naman po sa mga monitored parameters natin, then kailangan nating inform kaagad yung ating mga stakeholders.
Gaano karami na po o tons po yung sulfur dioxide na na-monitor po ng FIVOX? And gaano po ba ka-hazardous yun o delikado dyan po sa area ng Negros?
Okay, so again, kahapon nakapagtala tayo ng 4,121 tons per day of sulfur dioxide. If we compare this sa mga previous readings natin, this medyo hindi ito ganong mataas. Say for example, September 11, umabot po ito ng 11,556 tons per day. And September 12, 10,000. So, madali naman po itong ma-disperse kapag maulan at kapag mahangin. But even then, kailangan ng precaution yung ating mga kababayan. Kailangan nilang magsuot ng face mask in case na may masangsang na maamoy sila. Kasi po sulfur dioxide is acidic and pwede pong kapag may problema sila sa kalusugan, respiratory or lung problem, problems, pwede pong ma-aggravate, pwede po silang ma-asphyxiate.
Opo.
So, kailangan lang magsuot ng face mask, N95 kung maaari. Kung wala naman, surgical mask will do. Pero kung wala talaga, they can, yung bimpo or yung cloth, basain nila,
Basa.
and then pang-cover nila sa kanilang bibig at saka ilong.
Director, tanong ko lang po, yun po kasi tinatanong ng mga kababayan natin doon sa Negros. So, at this point in time, is it advisable for them to clean up their surroundings? Kasi nga nababalot na po yung bubong nila, yung mga halaman nila, yung mga tanim nila ng mga asupre. Paano daw po yun?
Yes, kailangan nilang, you mean, ash yung
Yung
nakabalot.
ash. Oo, right.
So, kailangan nilang buhusan ng tubig para mawala kaagad yun. Kasi kapag mabigat yan, for example, nasa bubong, pwedeng masira yung bubong nila, mag-collapse.
Yes, Director, I'd like to take this opportunity as well to ask you, kamusta na po ang pag-monitor natin sa iba pang mga volcanoes right now that are active? Any updates on that?
Okay, so yung Taal Volcano right now is still on alert level 1. And the past 24 hours, nakapagtala tayo ng 10 volcanic earthquakes. And yung sulfur dioxide niya is medyo mababa, nasa 1,706 lamang. This was recorded on December 9. Ang Kanlaon, ang Mayon Volcano is still on alert level 1. And for the past 24 hours, 3 volcanic earthquakes lamang yung naitala natin. Actually, since December 6, up to now, 3 volcanic earthquakes lamang
okay.
naitala.
Siguro, ano na lang po, sa panghuli, Director, mensahe na lang po doon sa mga kababayan natin kasi we've seen some reports as well na may mga iba pa po tayong kababayan na ayaw po umalis doon sa kanilang mga, ayaw po mag-evacuate doon sa kanilang mga bahay.
Yes, tama po kayo sa ating mga kababayan na nasa paligid ng Bulkang Kanlaon. Pakiusap po namin na, again, maging alerto sila and umalis po sila doon sa within the 6-kilometer danger zone na ating pinopropose. Para po ito sa ating kaligtasan, lagi nating unahin ang ating kalusugan at kaligtasan. Magkinig po sa abiso ng mga lokal na pamahalaan. At of course, kumuha ng information from the mandated agency or institute which is FIVOX. Huwag po maniwala sa mga kumakalat ng mga fake news.
Alright, on that note, maraming salamat po ulit sa inyong oras. Patuloy po kami makikipag-update po sa inyo. For the meantime, ingat po kayo, FIVOX Director Teresito Bacolcol.
Maraming salamat po.
Next in our countdown, a new cancer care center primarily for OFWs is set to become operational soon in San Fernando, Pampanga. The details in this report by mobile journalist Julie Baiza.
President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. inaugurated the bagong Pilipinas Cancer Care Center at the OFW Hospital in Pampanga. The president cited that based on the data from the Philippine Statistics Authority, cancer ranks as the second leading cause of death in the country from January to May this year.
And this is why the hospital's second floor will be dedicated to the Bagong Pilipinas Cancer Care Center. While the vision is clear, we acknowledge that work remains to be done to ensure that this facility will be equipped to serve those who are in need.
PBBM also emphasized the OFW's strength, determination, and sacrifices. He said it is only fitting to give them the care and support that they deserve.
Sa aming minamahal na OFWs, ang karagdagang pasilidad na ito ay para po sa inyo, sa inyong pamilya. Hindi naman natin hinahangad na maggamit ninyo ito. Ngunit mas makakahinga tayo kung maluwag kung alam natin na may matatakbuhan na ospital ang ating mga OFW sa oras ng inyong pangangailangan.
The Cancer Care Center is expected to accommodate 64 patients and offer chemotherapy, diagnostic services, surgical oncology, and other treatments. Construction is scheduled to begin in January 2025. For his part, Department of Migrant Workers Secretary Hans Leo Kakdak said that many OFWs suffer from cancer.
Ito ay bunsod ng matagal na rin pagsusuri na marami mga OFWs na talagang ang illness nila is cancer. No? They have served for a long time abroad And for one reason or another, perhaps stress and yung mga dinanas nila bilang OFWs, eventually they become afflicted with cancer. So, added to this, ang ating mahal na Secretary Susan Toots Ople, bago siya pumano, talagang habilin niya. Make sure na dito sa ating OFW hospital, merong susunod na proyekto, which is yung pagtatayo ng cancer care facility. And of course, the President gave his full support.
Earlier, President Marcos also paid tribute to the late Department of Migrant Workers Secretary Susan Ople, acknowledging her tireless dedication to the welfare of OFWs. Mobile journalist Julie Baiza, We Are One News.
Now, let's continue with our countdown. Flying to the 8th spot is South Korea. Their parliament has passed a bill seeking to investigate President Yoon Suk-yeol. The bill requests a special counsel to determine the reason behind Yoon's declaration of martial law last week. It came after the South Korean president survived the first impeachment motion last week. The parliament fell short of a quorum of 200 lawmakers to move the impeachment forward. O, di ba? Sabi nga nila, hindi pa
Uso
tayo
ang
natatapos dyan impeachment.
Uso ang impeachment pati sa
So,
South
tina-target
Korea.
nga daw nila na kung hindi nga siya ma-impeach ba mag-resign itong siya. Kasi ang term niya mag-i-end pa ng May 2027.
Yeah.
So sabi nila, ang target nila would be makapag-resign siya ng February, tapos makapag-snap election sila within April or May. Kasi in their constitution, dapat daw ang election ay mangyari within 60 days kapag umalis yung kanilang leader. So yun yung kanilang mga pinaplano pa dyan.
Impeachment pa more all over the Asian region. But this is in response kasi to the yung pagde-declare ng
Yung
martial.
pagdeclare
Aside
sa
from yung
martial
other anomalies na
Yes.
pinupukol sa kanya. But
Tsaka ano siya, naka-travel ban siya and
Yes,
some other top officials.
until such time may clearing. But impeachment naman is just a political process.
Yeah.
May criminal liability after.
Yun.
Anyway, still in world news, 47 Chinese military aircraft and 12 warships were detected near Taiwan in the past 24 hours. This is the highest number of Beijing's military presence near Taipei since they launched a large-scale war games 2 months ago. The Taiwanese military is now on high alert. China was earlier speculated of launching military exercises near Taiwan after Taiwanese President Lai Ching-te visited the United States last week.
Naalala mo yung may ganyan din pangyayari, tapos nag-comment yung Philippine government, si President Bongbong Marcos. I forgot na kung anong yung incident na yun, nagalit yung China, wag daw makialam tayo.
Anyway, ba't sila pakialam? Anyway, we're taking a close look at this kasi iniiwasan natin, number one, if large-scale military exercise to, di ba? Ano yung messaging nito?
Right.
Number two, we're also taking a look at the possibility, baka nag-strategic placing na ang China dyan because, di ba, for a long time, iniisip nila magkaroon ng invasion ang China sa
Tsaka
Taiwan.
sa Taiwan.
That's why recently, siguro, the US has been positioning Typhoon systems from where it is, I think it was in Cagayan, na within range of China as well. So parang deterrent supposedly, parang, sige, invade yung Taiwan, pero may typhoon dito na pwedeng umabot sa some city sa
Oh my
inyo.
gosh, ano ba yan?
Oo. Huwag nyo kami damay dyan.
Alright, coming up. Vice President Sara Duterte is again being summoned to appear at the NBI today. Will she finally show up?
And no less than President Bongbong Marcos opposed sending warships to the West Philippine Sea. Now, what was his reason? Summon pa more.
A-attend ba siya or hindi?
Hindi
What's
yan.
your take? Hindi. Yung
yan.
mga ka-brunchies natin, a-attend ba siya or hindi?
If-
Yan po
at-
inyong
at the-
i-comment sa Facebook at saka YouTube
At the
natin.
very least, baka abogado niya.
Pwede. Alright, we are just getting started. Mga kapatid, more of our top 10 news when Brunch returns. Keep it here on One News. Good morning. You're still watching Brunch here on One News.
Good morning to all our brunchies.
Sino
Let's
may
go.
gusto ng ginataang
Ginataan
bilo-bilo?
yan.
Yan o, dami namin kinain.
Mainit pa kanina yan, kaya medyo nakalahati na.
Init na mga balita.
Anyway, let's go straight to our Facebook greetings. We have Ralph Domingo, si Marichan Christmas songs is on the neighbor's house while watching your show. Naririnig niya.
Oo. Belated happy birthday.
Nakikinig si Ralph Domingo sa neighbor. Ikaw, Ralph. And also Christian Cabalquinto, good morning. Some Pokemon Go. Kaping Barako Day. Wow! Pengi naman yan sa Pokemon Go. Kaping Barako Day. Alex Fuentes, good morning. Migs Ebron, good morning daw. Brunchy.
Yun, no? Batiin ko din yung mga nandito sa YouTube naman, yung usual suspects natin. Si Ronald Maxtay, si Leonie Valdesoto, ayan. Si Alex Summer Cabrera, si Alex Fuentes, sino pa? Si Migs Ebron, si Gary Fields, si Sam Pokemon Go, si Vlad, si VJ, si Ice, si Ate Ice, si Tita Daisy, Tito Naldi, Tito Nito, Tita Ivy, di ba nanonood sa atin? Si Miss Jen, sino pa ba? Mina Benales.
Si Jerry Yang, good morning, ha? Oo.
Si Tita Esther Abayan. Ako marami pa, pero mamaya batiin namin kayo ulit. But for the meantime, let's continue with our countdown. Going straight now to our top 7, the new NAIA Infrastructure Corporation taps Meralco to power the modernization of the airport. The NNIC, led by San Miguel Corporation, is the new operator of NAIA. It entered into a strategic partnership with Meralco to address the growing energy needs of the airport. Meralco is set to build a new substation to provide reliable power to NAIA's 4 terminals. According to Meralco Chairman and CEO Manny V. Pangilinan, this partnership marks a major step toward realizing NNIC's goal of transforming NAIA into a world-class facility. Yan, abangan natin yan, 'di ba? Yung kanilang modernization diyan sa airport kasi talaga naman na pag-iwanan na ang Pilipinas, 'di ba? Pag galing ka dito, sutak sa ibang bansa, sabi mo na sa Singapore at saan pa, ay makikita mo napaka-modernized na nung kanilang mga airport.
Pero
so hopefully nga, kasi nga yan ang gate sa
Masalo na kasi ang mga terminals natin ng NAIA, malaki ang volume. Unlike kasi Singapore, di ba, wala siyang really domestic flights. It's just international. Ito, yung NAIA terminals natin, it caters to within the
domestic.
Philippines. Isipin mo, di ba, may Bacolod, may Cebu, may Davao, may
dami
Tacloban.
talaga yung influx ng tao.
Tapos meron ka pang Singapore, Hong Kong, Japan, di ba? So talagang ang dami-dami dyan. So magka-aberya na mawala ng aircon o konti, mahihirapan ang mga tao. So at least may dedicated power station na siya.
Naalala mo before, di ba, parang anong year yun?
Yung
na,
tower.
Yung January 1.
Yung control tower.
Di ba wala talagang kuryente?
At saka yung nagkaroon ng power shutdown sa control tower, hindi divert, makadirect ng flights. Delikado yung mga ganyan. So this is a step in the right direction. But let's move on to the next. Settling at the 6th spot are the Transport Network Vehicle Services, or TNVS. Senator Raffy Tulfo grilled popular TNVS app Grab for its supposed high fares and frequent cancellations. Tulfo cited one complaint of a passenger whose usual 600 peso fare drastically increased to 900 pesos. He also raised his eyebrows over the reports of drivers frequently canceling their bookings.
Tinanggap, pinag-antay. Sabi ko kanina sa example ko, 20 minutes nag-antay, and then pagdating 20 minutes, extend another 10 minutes nandoon na. Nag-antay ng 30 minutes, and then bago dumating 30 minutes, nag-antay ng 20 minutes, saka ika-cancel. Pero pag pasahero mag-cancel, may 50 pesos na fine. Pag kayo nag-cancel, wala. Star lang pinagsasabi mo.
In response, Grab Head of Public Affairs Gregorio Tingson apologized for the reported cancellations of drivers. He admitted to centers that Grab does not have enough drivers, especially during rush hour.
Paumanhin na ho dun sa mga nagka-cancel po na drivers. No? May kaukulan rin na penalties na nakukuha po ang driver sa paggamit po ng platform ng Grab. So kung napapansin na po na halimbawa cancel po siya ng cancel, sa bahagi rin po ng ating driver, nagkakaroon po ng evaluation kung kailangan pong suspindihin naman ang kanyang account.
Yung sinasabi ng solution dito by adding more competitive ride-hailing apps like TNVS, like let's say Picked Up, meron na rin eh. And others. Ang problema dito, I don't think at this point it will solve these issues even if may kalabang ka. It's because yung drivers na ito, if you look at them, sometimes meron silang dual phones inside their cars. Meaning, they're catering to, kunyari, Picked Up, they're catering to Grab. So, drivers sila for both apps. So, kung ang issue mo is dami ng drivers that can cater to the public para may balance of fares.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Di ba? Ang mangyayari nito, it's the same because multiple apps lang for example, sa motorcycle riders, di ba? May Grab, may Lala Move, may Angkas. Pero sometimes, minsan, isang driver yan, he serves all of them. Oo.
So yung inirereklamo nga ng mga commuters, no, nangyari din yan sa akin before, 'di ba? Na kunyari, magbubook ako, tapos i-accept ni rider. Tapos after few minutes tatawagan ka,
Cancel lang po.
malayo pa po ako, cancelin niyo na lang. So ako naman sasabihin ko, ako willing naman ako to wait, 'di ba? Ikaw na lang mag-cancel kasi ikaw yung may ayaw. Eh ba't mo tinanggap ito, 'di ba? So yun yung nagiging problema diyan. So ang ayaw kasi ng mga rider kasi sinasabihan nila yung mga customers na kaya nilang mag-cancel, magkaroon sila ng record.
Oo.
Pero yun nga, hindi naman din natin kasalanan kung, diba, in-accept nila yun. Dapat di na lang nila
Well, we
i-accept.
understand naman that the traffic is really
Yes.
bad. At hindi, sometimes the app doesn't account for the traffic. But then again also, pati naman yung mga passengers tulad natin, nahihirapan din naman tayo sa sitwasyon na yan. Because all of us want to get to and from our destinations naman, also quickly and safely.
Totoo.
So, pare-pareho tayo ng ano dito. So, yung titignan ni Senator Raffy Tulfo is a balance.
Oo.
A balance
Tsaka yung-
of being fair between passengers and drivers.
Yung tinitingnan din nila dyan, yung surge fee, yung napakalaking surge fee. Kaya
Yeah.
di ba yung LTFRB, meron silang propose na 50% cut yung rate ng surge fee. Sinasabi ng iba, okay yun kasi syempre mababawasan yung babayaran ng mga commuters. Pero on the other side of the fence, sinasabi nila, yung mga surge fee na yan, 80% of it napupunta sa mga driver. So ito, more than an incentive, it's like a lifeline for them na yung makukuha nila sa surge fee ay po pwede nilang magamit pang bayad ng mataas na gasolina,
Rent.
yung rent, at saka yung
Maintenance.
yung matagal nilang pag-aantay sa kalye na kumakain ng gasolina.
You have to remember, when they make computations para sa kita ng driver, ang basis niyan are regular traffic, not high volume traffic. Tapos ang basis din niya is in gasoline kasi may peg sila, but sometimes napaka-extremes kasi ng fluctuation ng prices ng gasoline. So nasisira ang computation ng driver. Sometimes nag-negative pa sila. Buti sana if you know that, sige, for 3 months straight, alam ko naman magkano ang gasolina, pwede ako mag-forecast kung magkano dapat ang fare natin. Pero hindi Minsan 57, mamaya-maya after 2 months, nagiging 62, tapos 63, tapos bababa ng 57 ulit. Mahirap ang
Kaya nga
sitwasyon.
sinasabi nila, sige, okay, nabawasan nga daw yung ito sa kabilang panig ito, 'di ba? Sinasabi na babawasan nga ng 50% yung surge fee. Ang mangyayari daw niyan, marami nang aayaw ng mga driver.
Because wala
Tapos
kang kita
yung commuters naman, yung mga consumers, yung mga riders, hindi na rin sila, mas mahihirapan sila kasi maraming aayaw ng mga riders.
Ngayon pa
ng
lang
mga
hirap na mag-book
drivers. Oo.
Hirap na mag-book.
Diba, especially, ano ba yung mga rush hour? Diba, mga 3 hanggang 5, 6 PM sa umaga, ganun din, grabe.
Mas madali pa ng unang panahon, nalala ko nung nung bata-bata ako at kailangan namin umalis sa mami ko at walang driver or car, tatawag ka lang sa ano ba yan? New Rocolex.
Ay, hindi ko yan naabutan.
New Rocolex taxi, may phone number ka, tatawag ka sa landline nila.
Ang naabutan ko na lang yung taxi ng mga suplado
Tapos yung New Rocolex,
Tapos kokontratahin.
hindi ka papababain ng phone habang rinaradyo. Sir, okay, si cab number 758, pupunta sa bahay nyo, 22 minutes. Ayan, baba na kami ng phone. Naalala ko yan.
Hindi ko yan. Wala, hindi ko na naabot.
Back to old school. Sabi ko sa'yo back to old school pa rin tayo.
Lakad na lang tayo. Buti sana kung
Ay, nako.
Grabe. Anyway, so sana maayos din yan, yung problema na natin yan sa TNVS dahil nga sa napakataas na fare tapos yung mga cancellations na problema natin. Right, let's continue with our countdown. On our top 5 is Arnie Teves. The dismissed lawmaker will appeal a ruling by the Timor-Leste Court of Appeals favoring his extradition. His lawyer, Attorney Ferdinand Topacio, confirmed this, adding that his client is confident on their case. The Timorese court granted the Philippine government's extradition request last December 2. Teves is wanted for murder and terrorism in connection with the killing of his political rival, Roel Degamo. So, ayan. So, sabi naman daw nung kampo nila, Arnie Teves, they're hopeful na ma-reverse daw ulit yung decision.
Pero
siya he is no longer in house arrest.
pero ang parang sabi ng ibang mga legal experts, parang it's highly unlikely na mag-reversal ulit.
Ano?
Oo,
Actually, delaying tactics ang ginagawa nung
Yes,
nung
pero
kampo nila eh.
Pero it's still part of the process that it's afforded to Arnie Teves at this time. But we're really expecting him to be home soon para to face yung charges against him. Kasi sabi nila, if you were Arnie Teves, why not face these charges? Ang problema kasi medyo mabigat. He's branded also as a terrorist. Oo.
So sinasabi ni Atty. Topacio, he cannot just leave Timor-Leste because his passport has been cancelled. That we know also. But they cannot deport him because he entered the country legally and he has committed no crimes under Timor-Leste's law.
So he falls under political asylum ba? Okay, sige.
So let's see, tingnan natin kasi yan yung ginagawa nila yung sinasabi nga nila na delaying tactics, 'di ba? So we'll see kung mapapauwi nga natin dito. Yung hanggang ngayon yung pa rin yung decision ng korte doon. All right, let's continue with our countdown. Going straight now to our fourth spot is about Vice President Sara Duterte. A lawmaker alleged that VP Sara pocketed some of the 612.5 million confidential funds previously allocated to her offices. Deputy Majority Leader Paulo Ortega called VP Sara as Santa Claus who gave the public money to her associates. He also accused the Vice President of getting richer because of the confidential funds. The Philippine Statistics Authority, or PSA, earlier revealed that 405 recipients of VP Sara's confidential funds do not exist in their database.
Mabigat-bigat na accusation. Actually, dalawa lang naman ang senaryo dyan, sabi nila eh. It's either number one, yung mga tao sa ilalim niya ang gumagawa ng kalokohan na without her knowing it. But then again, may liability.
Yes,
because
ikaw yung
these are public funds and it is your responsibility to ensure these public funds are spent accordingly. So you betray the public trust by allowing this to happen. Number two, second scenario, is ikaw mismo ang parte nitong paglapastangan daw sa pera ng mga sa kaban ng bayan o sa mga tao.
Pera ng bayan.
Yeah, but whatever evidence they have, sana ilabas nila soon or file the necessary charges kaysa we keep on going back and forth on media, television, and social
Kaya
media.
nga diba sinasabi natin, may mga ganito pa pala mga issue, bakit ititigil pa yung ititigil na yung hearing about confidential funds ng OVP at saka ng DepEd.
Ito yung sinasabi niya former Senator Ping Lacson, kaya tumatakbo ulit eh. Sabi niya, nawalan nga ng pork barrel, di ba? But
saan napupunta
other
yung
methods of,
kung gusto may paraan.
other methods of earning money in government has emerged, di ba? Creativity.
I remember yesterday, di ba, we were able to talk to Representative Franz Castro at sinabi nga niya, kasi I asked her na anong masasabi niyo doon sa statement ni VP Sara na hindi daw niya alam regarding the
Quote,
acknowledgement
unquote.
receipts. Diba? Sabi niya, ay, nagsisinungaling siya.
Quote, unquote.
Quote, unquote. Yan ang sabi niya.
Nagsisinungaling
Oo,
siya.
kasi nga, 405 dun sa recipients ng acknowledgement receipts ni OVP dun sa kanyang confidential funds ay hindi nga daw nag-i-exist, sabi ng PSA.
Kasi looking at VP Sara, naman she's a smart woman. So definitely, parang it will be hard for you to believe na hindi niya alam, being smart and being very meticulous. The way, when she was a mayor, alam niya lahat ng galaw sa syudad niya na hindi niya alam kung may kalokohan sa ilalim niya. Did she trust her people too much na nadispal ko yung pera? Diba? So, I don't know.
Tsaka bakit ganun yung nagiging proseso? Diba? Dapat yung Special Disbursement Officer naghahawak ng confidential fund. It turned out during the investigation ng Congress na it was his security detail na may hawak-hawak ng bag at nag-disburse ng pera.
Which is very, very,
Tsaka
very
nakita
unusual.
din sa mga acknowledgement receipts, yun nga, iba-iba yung mga pangalan, pero it was written, some of the receipts were written by parang same handwriting, at tapos iba naman parehas ng, kunyari, ng kulay ng ink, pero magkaiba yung lugar.
Parang sinasabi mo, may isa akong pad paper at may dala akong ballpen, tapos pirma lang ako ng pirma na
Parang
receipt ng
gano'n,
isang
yung
tao.
mga nakikita nila. So, we'll see, no? Sinabi naman ni VP Sara na sabi niya it's a welcome move for them na, sige, sampahan nyo na lang ako ng impeachment complaint. At least dito mas mapagtatanggol daw niya yung sarili niya at mas malalaman ng tao paano ba daw talaga gastusin, 'di ba? Ayusin yung confidential funds at hindi na daw madadama yung kanyang mga tauhan. Okay, alright, Diego.
Don't go away, we're not done yet. May dalawa pa. Stay with us. Welcome back. You're still watching Brunch here on One News. Mga Brunchies, thank you for all your messages. Noted.
Noted.
Sige, let's move on. Vice President Sara Duterte is again being summoned today at the NBI over her threats against President Bongbong Marcos. Now let's get the latest on the ground from mobile journalist Merimon Reyes. Merimon, good morning!
Good morning, Angelo and Angela. Totoo, hindi sumipot ngayong araw na ito si Vice President Sara Duterte. Pero ang nakuha natin mula sa kanyang legal counsel, yung abogado, ay isang sulat kung saan nakalagay doon na dinedenay daw ng kanilang kliyente, which is VP Sara Duterte, itong ang allegation na sinasampa laban sa kanya. So ngayon, ang sinasabi ng NBI nila Director Jaime Santiago, ipagpapatuloy pa rin nila yung investigation tungkol doon naman sa subpoena sa ibang kawani ng media and yung vloggers na kasama doon sa virtual press conference ni VP Sara. Estimate nila by this Friday yung last day ng investigation kasama itong mga nasubpoena. Within the next 2 to 3 weeks, pag-uusapan na rin daw nila at hopefully by January maglalabas na sila ng kanilang final report kung saan yung kabuuan ng lahat ng impormasyon, yung mga facts na makukuha nila base sa nag-e-exist na ebidensya, doon na natin aasahan kung ano yung kanilang magiging final na verdict sa report nila sa NBI.
Oo. Merimon, kasi nagkaroon nga din ng statement ito si VP Sara Duterte na sinabi naman daw ng lawyer niya na hindi naman daw siya kailangan pang mag-appear dyan sa NBI. Ang kanyang affidavit ay pupwede na, sapat na. So, tinanggap ba ng NBI at sapat na nga ba ang kanyang affidavit na instead na pumunta dyan sa NBI?
Actually, Angela, ang nasabi nga dito sa amin ni Director Santiago, walang counter affidavit na i-file si VP Sara. Sulatin ito na isinulat ng kanyang abogado, pero may conformity ni VP Sara. So, sinasabi ni Director Jaime, tinatanggap niya yung sulat na, yung kumbaga yung mga nakalagay doon sa sulat ng kanyang abogado. Pero technically, walang counter affidavit na ibinigay o sinumite. So, nung tinanong natin kung mag-waive na ba dito yung kanyang pagkakataon, na maipaliwanag yung kanyang sarili. Ang sabi naman dito nila Director Jaime Santiago, pagka pinagpatuloy na nila yung kanilang investigasyon at nagkataon magpepresenta si VP Sara na pwede raw siyang pumunta sa NBI para raw kung may kailangan pa raw na impormasyon, ay welcome naman daw siya dito sa NBI. Pero hindi na sila magsiset ng another schedule para asahan.
Medyo nawawala-wala si Merimon,
Sara.
Sige, try natin ayusin muna yung linya ni Merimon para mas maigi natin siyang marinig because sayang naman. So for those who just tuned in, kausap po natin
Reyes,
si ating mobile journalist Merimon Reyes na nasa NBI.
Sa NBI.
Oo, to give us an update.
I also wanted to ask kasi sabi niya sa Friday, magko-consolidate na sila ng findings sila to come up with whatever recommendations meron. Pero parang gusto kong malaman sana ano yung next step nito. Itatransmit ba ito sa DOJ for certain cases to be filed? Anong possible cases? If meron, if meron, ang pwede i-file kay VP Sara?
Oh, I wanted to ask Merimon also kung nagkaroon na sila ba ng kopya nung papel na isinumite ng kampo ni Vice President Sara Duterte sa NBI.
I don't think ilalabas muna yan.
Oo, para lang malaman natin kung ano sinabi.
That's part of the investigation, if ever. But sa Friday, we will expect naman a summary from the NBI based sa... kasi di ba, sabi ng NBI, if she doesn't come, it's at least ginawa namin yung part na in calling her to air her side.
And they can proceed na.
They can proceed na. But it's a letter or manifestation made by the lawyer, VP Sara, and a conformity by VP. In other words, pinirmahan niya yung document. But not necessarily a counter affidavit sa charges against her.
So if you can remember, di ba, the first time they asked VP Sara to explain her side dyan sa NBI, ang sinabi ng kampo nila VP Sara, hindi makakarating dahil meron silang hearing sa Congress. So what Congress did naman, ni-reschedule para mabigyan daan itong ang NBI. Pero hindi pa rin pumunta sila VP Sara dahil late na lang daw nila na receive yung notice ng Congress. Oo, tapos of course after nun, in between, before this day, ay humihingi nga ng questions yung kampo ni VP Sara sa NBI, no? At una sinabi ng NBI, hindi naman kami nagbibigay ng questions, 'di ba?
Yeah.
Pero after nun, nagbigay na rin naman sila no.
Anyway, balikan natin mamaya si Mary Mon about this issue, and let's move on to the next. Going straight to our top two, France has reiterated its support for the Philippines' position in the South China Sea. The French ambassador to the Philippines, Marie Fontanelle, said they are really sharing the same stand with the Philippines. She added that they always stick to international law, particularly the international law of the sea. France last week expressed concern over the harassment by China Coast Guard vessels near Scarborough Shoal. Yan, it's backers like this that we need. We already have Australia on our side. We have Germany. We have Japan. Of course, the US.
Australia.
Now we have France. So if we get other nations, lalo na pag galing sa G7, diba? Or sa NATO, maganda yan. Malaking backing sa atin yan. And then, at pag ganyan nangyari, we're able to go to the negotiating table with China. Finally, sana, if not resolve, put an end muna to the damage being done to our vessels, and of course yung mga nasasaktan natin mga Navy and Coast Guard personnel.
Pero yun nga, di ba, lagi ko nga sinasabi dito, ang China lagi nila din na nire-reiterate na mas importante sa kanila yung bilateral consultation meeting.
Paano magpa-bilateral? There's
between yung countries involved. Ayaw nila ng may mga iba pang nakikialam daw. Ang tawag nila pakikialam.
Bilateral negotiations only work if the two parties on the table have equal footing on a certain issue. We don't have equal footing, so ano pinag-iisipan nilang bilateral?
Oo, sige. Mamaya balikan din ulit natin tong issue na to, pero try natin kausapin ulit ang ating mojo na si Mary Mon Reyes na live na nasa NBI. Mary Mon!
Hello, Angela and Angelo. Balikan lang din natin yung tungkol doon sa sinasabi nga, since hindi nagpresenta sa subpoena itong si VP Sara, tinanong natin kung mawi-waive ba yung kanyang pagkakataon na ipaliwanag ang sarili. Ang nasabi naman dito ng NBI, kung sakali, since ipagpapatuloy na nila yung kanilang investigasyon, technically without na itong explanation o counter affidavit ni VP Sara, pagkakunwari daw na isipan o magsabi raw si VP Sara na baka raw may kailangan pang impormasyon ang NBI at gusto niya raw na pumunta dito para i-welcome naman daw siya ng NBI. Pero again, hindi na sila mag-schedule ng isa pang araw pa ulit itong si VP Sara o makausap pa talaga in specific.
Yes, Mary Mon, I'd like to clarify ko lang yung document na pinadala ng lawyer ni VP Sara na may conformity niya. Ano tong document?
Ano nilalaman?
Hindi ba ito yung document? Does it explain at least briefly kung ano yung context na nangyari sa kanyang rant kay PBBM, or it's a simple manifestation na I don't need any more to explain or I'm waiving my right? Ano ba ang content nun?
Actually, ito nga ay isang letter na isinulat ng kanyang abogado with her conformity. Walang counter affidavit na nakakabit pa dito. Ang nakalagay lang sa sulat na yon ay una raw, nagpapasalamat daw itong si VP Sara sa communication ng NBI, pero dinedeny niya yung allegation na pinafile against her. Yun lang yung pinaka-sinasabi dito, pero yun nga ang nasabi ni Director Jaime Santiago, walang counter affidavit to answer talaga kung ano ba yung purpose nung subpoena na ibinigay sa kanya. Basta ngayon, dinedeny niya yung allegations laban sa kanya.
So what happens now, Mary Mon? Anong gagawin ng NBI? Course through na ba ng DOJ? May mga kaso na ba? Or what's going to happen?
Sa ngayon, pagdating sa investigasyon, ongoing pa rin siya, and for the next 2 to 3 weeks until January ay ilalabas na rin daw nila yung kanilang final na report. Pagdating dito sa mga magfa-file laban kay VP Sara, pwede rin naman daw kahit hindi individual kasi public crime itong possible na case against her. Kaya kahit daw mga law enforcement agencies ang mag-file ng kaso sa kanya ay wala naman daw magiging problema sa law system natin. So far, ina-expect natin na sa mga susunod na linggo, kasi by Friday matatapos na yung investigation naman doon sa mga isinabtina na vloggers at saka mga kawani ng media na nandoon sa virtual press conference. After daw nito, pag-uusapan daw nila, i-discuss daw nila lahat ng mga impormasyon base sa nag-i-exist na ebidensya, and ilalatag na nila sa kanilang final report by January.
Ayun. Sige. Maraming salamat sa iyong oras. That was our mobile journalist, Mary Mon Reyes. Now, let's go to our top story. Our top story for today is the tension in the West Philippine Sea. President Bongbong Marcos opposed sending warships to the West Philippine Sea in response to China's latest harassment against our vessels. But what is the government doing to address this concern? Here's the report.
The Chinese Coast Guard harassed our vessels in Bajo de Masinloc again with a water cannon attack on December 4. 2 days before this, Chinese vessels dangerously pointed high-intensity lasers at our Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources, or BFAR vessels, in Hasa-Hasa Shoal. China insisted that we are provoking tension because we are illegally entering their waters. However, Bajo de Masinloc and Hasa-Hasa Shoal are still part of our Exclusive Economic Zone, or EEZ. China also sent their Navy warships in the West Philippine Sea earlier. This is why Philippine Coast Guard spokesperson for the West Philippine Sea, J. Tariela, reminded President Bongbong Marcos that he has the power to send our warships to the contested waters.
It is up to the armed forces of the Philippines to carry out a policy recommendation to the President and the Commander-in-Chief. The President himself has the full authority to decide on this. This is not a recommendation. All I'm saying is that in terms of reciprocity, that can be a policy option that can be carried out.
However, PBBM opposed this call. In an ambush interview, the president said the government has no plans in sending warships to the West Philippine Sea.
We are not at war. We don't need Navy warships. All we are doing is resupplying our fishermen, protecting our territorial rights.
PBBM emphasized that we are not going to escalate the ongoing tension with China in the West Philippine Sea.
Again, it will be provocative and will be seen as an escalation. We don't do that. The Philippines does not escalate tensions. Quite the opposite. The Philippines always tries to bring down the level of tension.
What the government was previously doing instead was to file diplomatic protests against China. The Marcos administration has already filed almost 200 diplomatic protests since 2022, and 60 of them were filed this year.
Let's get more insights about this. We have National Maritime Council spokesperson Alexander Lopez.
Good morning, sir. Thank you very much for joining us.
Yes, good morning, Angelo and Angela, and a pleasure to be back here.
Yes, sir, no, si PBBM already said about his thoughts niya about sending warships to the West Philippine Sea. But what are the factors that we need to consider if and when we decide to send warships to the West Philippine Sea?
Okay. It was made very clear by our president that we will not send any warships. But just to put some context, kasi the issue at hand there is actually yung nangyari doon sa Bajo de Masinloc na nagkaroon ng presensya ng Chinese warship doing aggressive movements, shadowing, blocking. Actually, nung tinanong si Presidente doon, tama siya, no? Na hindi tayo sasali sa provocation or neither will be lured into participating and addressing the same. Kaya sinasabi niya, hindi tayo magpapadala ng warship sa mga resupply missions natin ating mga mangingisda sa West Philippine Sea or anywhere in the West Philippine Sea. Actually, that is the context. Kasi ever since naman, especially the armed forces, mandato ng armed forces natin ay to protect our sovereignty and protect our territorial integrity. So part ng mga pwersa ng ating armed forces doon ay mga barko, mga Philippine Navy vessels, Philippine Air Force air assets, and other instrumentalities of government. So I must emphasize the context, yung sinabi ni Presidente ay pag may mga resupply missions to support our Filipino fishermen ay hindi tayo magpapadala ng great ship doon ng Philippine Navy with or without the presence ng Chinese PLA Navy.
Sir, kasi yung iba po sinasabi nila, we've seen a lot of statements coming from different countries like we have US of course, Japan, France ngayon recently, no, yung support nila po sa atin pagdating po dyan sa usapin ng West Philippine Sea. But ang sinasabi po nila ay mas maganda daw, mas maigi, meron din daw na mga sinasabi na statements na pabor sa atin, yung iba pang other claimants sa West Philippine Sea. Your thoughts on that po?
Yeah, actually, nagpapasalamat tayo sa kanilang mga statements of support, no? Pero may commonality doon. Hindi naman nila sinasabi noon na ano. But while they are supporting our moves, yung ating peaceful moves, yung moves natin, yung mga galaw natin na we are informing our public here and abroad, internal and external, what the Chinese maritime assets are doing sa West Philippine Sea. So basically, we are all common, we are in unison that we are condemning the acts, the illegal, coercive, aggressive, and deceptive moves or actions of the Chinese maritime assets, their Navy, their Coast Guard, and even their maritime militia. So hindi sila naiba doon. Natutuwa nga tayo. We are getting those statements of support from these allies of ours and other like-minded nations.
Alright, siguro balikan na lang din po natin, no, bakit daw po ba masama? No? Why would it be bad for the optics sa atin kung maglagay tayo ng warships doon sa West Philippine Sea?
Again, Angela, correct ko lang yan, no? Yung presenting Philippine Navy vessels, the West Philippine Sea have been there all along, ever since. For the past years nandun. There was a time na walang presence of our Philippine Navy vessels, particularly AFP assets in West Philippine Sea, meron yun. So, ang context kasi natin dito, ang position natin, sinasabi natin, kasi pag nagpadala tayo ng Philippine Navy assets in reaction to a presence naman ng ng Chinese Navy, ay it can escalate the situation kasi pag nagpadala tayo ng gray ship jam, they come in warlike para bang you're challenging them, no? Parang so, and those are the situations na pwedeng magkaroon ng tinatawag nating misjudgment, miscalculations. And even yung mga tao natin sa barko, hindi lang sa atin, baka pwede rin mangyari sa kabilang side, the misinterpretation of the information that they see on the ground or at sea. So, pag nagkataon ganon, mabilis yung escalation ng tension, it can go, exponentially high.
That's right.
Oo. But do you think po ba na parang provocation po ba talaga itong ginagawa sa atin ng China na sumagot tayo at magpadala din tayo ng mga warships doon?
Actually, tama ka, Angela, no? Nakikita natin ito, na sila talaga nagpo-provoke as against their narrative na tayo daw ang nagpo-provoke, di ba? So para bang kaya sabi niya, now we will not fall into their trap of reacting to their provocation. And in like manner, sabi nga ni Presidente, we will never be the source of provocation. So, klarong-klaro yun. We are very thankful that the President came up with that statement.
Alright, on that note, maraming salamat po sa inyong oras. Thank you for joining us today, National Maritime Council spokesperson Alexander Lopez.
Actually,
thank you very much.
Thank you. I wanted to ask also, actually quickly lang, di ba sabi nila, yung sabi ni Sir Alexander, yung iniiwasan natin yung using the vessel for yung mga exercise ng fishermen because the Navy vessels are there merely for purposes to protecting sovereignty natin and our nation. But isn't the attack on also our citizens, our fishermen who are citizens of this the Philippine country, isn't an attack on them, is an attack on the nation as well that deserves the defense, at least not for attack purposes, but defensive positions. Kasi may rules of war and engagement naman yan. If you don't maintain attack positions daw, if we maintain, sabi ng iba, just maintain defensive positions, diba? To ensure na safe ang mga fishermen natin.
Huwag lang yung tanggap ng pang-aapi.
Diba? Maghihintay pa ba tayo na may masaktan sa mga fishermen natin? Anyway, I hope this gets really truly resolved in a peaceful manner. But for that, it wraps up today's episode of Brunch.
Join us again tomorrow. I'm Angela Lagunzad-Castro.
And I'm Angelo Castro. Third, we are One News, all sides, all the time.
All the time.